Well, hello. I decided to do a live stream, even though it's almost 2 in the morning, but I don't care because I'm wide awake. I'm just not sleeping. I'm having a horrible time with insomnia. And I figured I just recorded a video that I'm going to edit later and post, and I want to start making that a regular thing again. But since I was done, I really kind of planned to do this earlier, but my days have been a mess lately. Uh, so just winging it, and even though I won't get any viewers, I thought this would be kind of nice for to do this live and on the spot, and then it's something to be watched in the replay, right? So it'll go up and it'll stay in my library, whatever they call it on YouTube, in your library of lives. And we can take it from there. I was thinking about this afternoon. I thought the Flintstones 65th anniversary just went by, and there was two big ones. There was the Thunderbirds, which are 60, and Flintstones that are 5 years older, they're 65. And I thought it'd be fun to do a little drawing. And I've done this before, and I've even used the Flintstones on this before. And I've talked about when learning to draw a character, how tracing can be useful to learn how to draw the character. And I think you probably get the idea of that and where I'm going with this, but not entirely. There is a right and a wrong way to trace these characters off when you're doing them. And I'm going to show you the right way. Because when you work in a studio, and I used to work in animation, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Phil. I used to work in animation. I used to do caricatures, and now I'm doing YouTube. When you are in a studio, whatever position you have, you get a little package of everything that's going to be involved in that production. So you get one of the things in the package is the model sheets of all the characters, because you have to be able to draw the characters, locations, props, sets, that kind of thing. There's all model sheets that is standard, that's given to everybody. And the model sheets will show you a breakdown of the character. And so the idea is you want to learn to draw that character and be able to put that character in any kind of position. And you want to kind of have it to memory. Usually at an animation desk, you have them posted up. It's always nice because you can look and refer back. And how long is the leg compared to the head, and the length of the arm compared to this, and how many heads high, that kind of thing. But once you start drawing it, you learn how to do it. You don't need the reference sheets anymore. You just do it, unless there's been a kind of a change in the character. So I thought I would, I downloaded a model sheet, and I thought I'd bring it up and I'll show you how we actually trace the character off. Tracing can be okay. Tracing, we don't all have photographic memories. I never did. I have to have reference. I have to see how something is done. And if somebody's asked me to draw a random character, if you were to ask me to draw, I don't know, I was called it All Dogs Go to Heaven, Charlie from All Dogs Go to Heaven. I know roughly what he looks like, but I would need to bring up the character to learn how to draw it. And if I was going to do a job for somebody, I'd kind of go into Google and look up the model sheets and maybe trace a couple of them off to get an idea of the proportions and the size of this animal and how he all kind of fits together. So I'm going to do that now, and I thought in honor of the Flintstone 65th anniversary, I bring up Fred Flintstone, and I'm going to do that now. I see my friend Josh is having a live. He's doing a music thing right now. I don't know if he's got any viewers or not. I don't really expect to get any tonight, and I'm not concerned about that. I am having an issue with I'm going to do a quick test, real quick, and I apologize. Skip ahead if you're watching this on a replay. Skip ahead. I just want to see if something's working, because once again, Talk Studio, I thought we got everything fixed, and now there's problems again. So something's not playing, another one wasn't uploading. I just want to check this break video really quick. And this is, since it's 2 in the morning, this is probably the time to do it. I'm going to do this really quick. There's 2 of them. I just want to check the beginning. Here's the first one. Sorry, that was the wrong one.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective...
It's not working. That one is not working. Let's check this.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen is the name written in blood. Ika!
Okay, that's working. I'm going to be uploading some old trailers to terrible movies. And so on my washroom breaks, I'm going to be playing some of those old trailers for films that are not royalty free. What's the term? You know what I mean. They're okay to broadcast because they're not really, the rights aren't really kind of owned by anybody anymore. And the trailers and even scenes from them are safe to play. So I put together 1 or 2 extra trailers. One of the videos I've had up here for a while is not working. That's really frustrating. All right. Anyways, let's kind of just skip that for now. If I have to take a break later on, I can play the EGOT trailer. Let's see here. Let me just see if I can bring things up. What am I going to use? Clip Studio is my go-to. I'm hoping the audio is coming through. It seems to be. Let me just check this really quick. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm checking on my iPhone. Nothing worse than getting into a video and then realize like the audio isn't set up properly. Something's not coming through properly. That's really frustrating, especially since I've been going for almost 10 minutes now. But let me see if I can get Clip Studio Paint going. Let that load. Everything's been slow lately. My internet's been slow. Loading has been slow. Everything has been bloody slow. All right, we got Clip Studio. And let's get the screen going here. How's everyone doing? If you're watching this on the replay, how are you? How have you been doing? Give these videos a quick little likey, will you? Click on that, tap on it if you're on a mobile device. If you're on the computer, grab your mouse and go clicky on the like button. It really does make a huge difference to me, and I really appreciate it a lot. I'm sitting here yakking how to get this set up. Share screen. We want the entire screen. We want the one with Clip Studio. And I don't like that arrangement. There we go. As well, too, when you engage, when you engage with the video, whether it's in a live and you're adding something to the chat, or if you're watching the replay and you add a comment, it really means a lot if you could add something in. Ask a question. Tell me something that you're working on. Add something in there, and it would mean a whole lot to me if you could do that. And it helps my channel a little bit. Slowly pushes it out so that the masses can see it. Because I don't have much on here yet, and what I do have is kind of a mess on this channel right now. I don't want to stop it and restart it. I would really kind of like to just keep going and just do some course correction. Keep the videos consistent, keep the lives consistent as best I can, and just kind of make the channel into something. So yeah, that's kind of yeah. So if you can desktop, you can kind of engage with that. It would really make a huge difference to me. Okay, I've got 2 of them. Let's just go with this. I should have, that's fine. I should have actually isolated one. Well, I still can. I can still do this. I like this 3/4 view we got here right on the end. So let's copy it. Let's Tangle. We're going to copy Fred here. Why do we have that? Now we're going to go new, and we'll pick him just a standard. That's a 16:9. That's okay, actually. I might be able to use this space. Now, will he go in there? Yeah. Oh, God, he's small. All right, let's enlarge Fred. Here, let's blow him up a little bit because that's way too small. It seems I have a viewer. Hello, viewer, whoever you are. I get these mystery people watching. I have no idea who's watching. I need to get the transform and just scale him. No, he's. Oh God, that's not what I want. There we go. Yabba dabba do. Nice and big. So, why do I feel he's slightly stretched? That's okay. I'm gonna go with this for now. Let's drag him. Apply. Yes, we're going to apply that. I've got a blank layer ready to go. We'll call him the tracing. Tracing. Yes, tracing. I'm going to show you what we'll do. Fade that out a bit. So he's really faint. All right. Grab the tool, and you must hold the tool correctly in your hand. I had a life drawing teacher. She was terrific. She was an amazing teacher, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Susanna Wald. Amazing life drawing teacher who drew some kind of wild stuff. I remember going to one of her gallery shows and just bizarre stuff, but she knew what she was doing. Boy, she was an incredible life class, though. If you tried, if you messed around, she didn't like that. If she told you not to use something or to do something a certain way, you do it. She says, don't use erasers, don't use it. She sees an eraser, she'll throw that across the, across the room. But if you kind of did what she told you to do, and you really try, even if you weren't that good, if you at least tried, she'd tell you. She'd be like, that's good, you keep going, you keep trying. Yeah, you do that. No, I liked her a lot. So here we got Fred. This is a really simple drawing. So the tough part about this is hard to tell where kind of the base of his head is, because this, like, his neck connects down here. There's a tie and then comes all the way up here, and it just kind of goes into the body. And it's like this is one complete shape. So normally what I would do is go by the number of heads tall. So you figure out the head, and then you judge on the head. You figure out how many heads make up the height of that character, right? In this case, it's very odd because this feels like all one complete solid thing. So I could judge the head by this, go a little bit further, I can go by this, or even up here going by this. Like the head's almost in two parts, because you've got this thing up here where his eyes and ear and the nose seems to separate, this coming down here, right? But the overall shape of this thing, though, is just, this is all one complete line. Like you can see it tucks in a little bit here, but the overall shape, he's like this big pear. Whoops. Let's go with the leg. Joins with the back. And I've talked a bit about before the lines of action. And he's just standing there, but there is kind of this nice S-curve that's going here. Comes down with the legs, and there's a bit of a curve to the body, right? Reminds me of those, what are they called? The Weebles? The Weebles that wobble, but they don't fall down. Do you remember those? And they would just tip back, kind of like that. Except this one's got more of an arch to it. Right? So we can start with that, and we can see kind of where the head is. I've got a couple of viewers in here. Hello, people. Grab a sketchbook, follow along. So you've got this shape for sure that's in here, right? And then at the middle of the nose, it juts out here. And his nose is this big, round, blockish thing here, like this block. And then a 3/4 view. There's still volume to this. And I just lost everybody. Oh, well. There is still volume to this. Like if you look here, he's in perspective because his feet are going off in this direction like this. Because we're looking down at his feet. We're kind of standing eye level with Fred. And we're looking down. You can see the tops of his feet. Right? I don't know if you can see that. You can see the top of his feet. So there's a slight tilt downwards, right? So, whoops. I mean, if we were to kind of draw a circle around this thing, right? We go down here. And lessons, and now we start maybe coming up, and his eye level is about level. So we're thinking of a volume line that's going around it. This thing is all over the place. There is something acting really, really weird with this tonight. This is not behaving normally. Am I still broadcasting? I think I am. It looks like I am on YouTube. All right. The center line here, like you can see there's kind of a center line here, but it kind of follows the the contour of the head here, right? It's getting a bit muddled. I'm going to maybe turn up this a little bit. Just a bit, just a tiny, tiny bit. There we go. No, I just dropped it, just lost it. Slightest wiggle, and you lose it. All right, there we go. And you got an oval there and an oval there. I'm being really loose. As you can see, I'm tracing this, but I'm not doing this kind of trace where I'm going like this and this and right. No, we're not doing that. We're not 5. The idea is we're learning the character. We're learning to break down the volumes, the shapes, the perspective, if you will, of this character, so that after doing something like this a couple of times, you really get an idea of this thing inside and out, right? His legs kind of connect up to the top of this his garment here, and this is like 1, 2, 3, and kind of a quarter, right, as far as his height. His head, if I was to go down to the necktie down here, he's like that's like 1, 2. Wow, he's over. He's about 2.5. 1, 2. And then this, if you go to the heel, because his toes come down, if you see what the ground is here, they're drawing a ground line to where his heels are. That's like, he's 2.5 heads high. And that's including kind of to where the bottom of the tie is, because you can see he has no neck. He's so fat. It's just, and it just goes right into the body. So it comes down to here. This is over 1/3 of his whole body. He's all head. So, right, and there's like some nice kind of dynamics and angular lines here, because he's this round character, he's this fat character, but look at kind of the roughness of this outfit. Did I just make that the eraser instead? What did I just do? There's the buttons on this thing or something else. There we go. There's kind of all this nice dynamics going on. This is Hanna-Barbera, and the interesting thing is simplistic as their characters are, you still had to kind of understand all the rules before you could draw a character, design them like this, and make them work. So when you look at a character from Disney and you think, or Bluth, because I mean that was like this full lush animation, and they had these very, very detailed characters, even though they were very cartoonish. There was a lot that went into them. Whereas Hanna-Barbera, they're very simplified. If you look like his arm is almost just like a cutout. His arm, look at his shoulder starts above the head, like he's up here almost. Right? And this is designed so that we can, for the TV simplified animation, he just needed to stand still, and the only things that needed to move was his mouth and an arm or something. Maybe an arm on the other side might move, so that this one could stay static. But if they needed this one to move, that would be another overlay, and they wouldn't draw it. They would draw a layer that didn't have an arm on it, and the arm would be overlaid because that would be what was animated with just a few drawings. So there's the ear here. That's also why, if you see this line here that was supposed to be shaded a different color, and this, which goes all the way down, this shape, I'm going to show you, I'm going to outline this. This whole section would be an overlay, right? That's just the mouth talking. Everything else is a held cell. Same thing with the arm. If they didn't use the arm on the other side, which would be behind this, and they needed this arm to move, this would all be on another layer. And that's all that would move. The rest of it just had to stand there. This wasn't like Disney or Warner Brothers full performance animation where the whole character moved, and there wasn't a lot of squashing and stretching with the performance. This basically was just to have them funny enough to just hold your attention for a short time. They only had to tell this quick little 20-minute story. They just kind of needed to walk in, do a bit of dialogue. Maybe there might be one exaggerated take, right? There could be one potential exaggerated take where the whole thing had to go, ah! And there would probably just be a jump cut. Like there might be 2 whole drawings to make him go from static like this to like that exaggerated shock drawing where, the feet go out straight and hands go out like to the side and the face changes. Probably 2 drawings that would go between that. And that would be, now we can kind of, so even this, if you were in a studio and received this, you probably have to see there's 3 dots here, spots on his fur coat, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points at the bottom. That's very odd. His ankle is kind of pointing this way. I think, oops, shoot, wrong level. It would have been fun to actually work on these cartoons, because a lot of the gags were simple, very quick visual gags where the character just had to stand there and say a line kind of whether it was cut to maybe like an animal responding to something sarcastically, right? There wasn't the slapstick. This was based off of The Honeymooners when they made this, and which of course is a half-hour comedy in front of a live audience, and that's basically what they did with what they were trying to do with the Flintstones. Let me fix this. Is that you had a half-hour comedy that was going to be in front of an audience, but you weren't limited now. You could have them out of the house, walking around, going to work. You could have them. They weren't limited to a set, of course. Obviously, you could have them going in and out of the whole house. We're kind of used to that now, right? And the other thing you notice that they also included a laugh track, which confused the heck out of me even as a kid, because I thought there's no audience. I don't know. When I was really little, that was how much of a weird kid I was. When I was really, really little, and I was watching these on TV, and I heard the laugh track, and I thought, where's the laugh track coming from? Like, there's no. This is a cartoon. It's drawings. Like, where's all this laughter? Like, is it in a projection room? And for some reason, I don't know why, I was a weird kid, I thought the laughing that you were hearing was coming through the TV. You were hearing the laughter of everybody watching the cartoon, and that it was coming through the TV. And I remember trying to laugh really hard at something so that I could hear myself. But during the show, when there's a point of something going on, there's no laughing. I remember trying to talk into it, and nothing was coming out. And I thought, well, they must have to like turn it on at a certain point. And my mother says, no, the laughter's recorded. It's played later. So I thought, can I get my laugh in there? I was a dumb kid. I was really young. This is preschool. Leave me alone. So anyways, I was going to actually erase that. I don't need to. That's basically it. You can see the really, really simple breakdown of this character, though. And I'm going to switch to red here on a different level so you can see it. Why is it? There. Yeah. Give me all this trouble. But you can see he's just this sort of pear-shaped, right? And it's not even like we've done this kind of thing with the body and this and then the legs. We actually just did it as all one shape like this. And then the head coming off the top of that even, right? And that's kind of what we've got going on here. And then the nose separates with the eyes. And again, the feet are just blocks, right? They're just simple blocks. But the blocks, drawing them that way, you can see them simplified, that you are standing eye level with Fred, and you're looking down at the feet because you can see the tops. And it's kind of it, basically. He really is a simplified character. Really, really is. Should I keep this, do you think? I don't know if I should keep this drawing. So here on this layer, I'm going to change this to blue so that you can see. And this is the overlay. Just got to cut under the nose. Right. I'm making this probably look a lot more complicated than it is, but that's kind of how it worked in the studio, right? I think this is really interesting that these that's part of the overlay right there. There's two, and those would be two separate cells. There'd be one for the mouth, one for the arm. Two totally separate things. So the animator would have to break it down like that. And just do really. Does anybody have any questions? I've got nobody watching. But that's kind of Fred Flintstone simplified. Should I do another one? I'm going to save this. I will save this. You need to worry about that. Do not save. Go back to the black here. I want to get an idea of his height. I'm seeing something jump around here in the chat, and I keep thinking somebody's hopping in and saying something. 1, 2.5. Unless you go back by this. This is a little, and I don't think they did. Even that's like kind of 3.5, 3 and a bit. I think we're going down by the bottom of the neck. I'm going to get rid of these. That's just gonna. Time is at 2:30. I'm going to call this Fred F demo. Save it to the desktop at the moment, but I'm going to set up another one. Let me go to the ad that I put up. I'm going to take a short break, and then I kind of want to make an announcement, and then we'll see if we should continue, considering it is 2:30 in the morning. But let's go with this. So she'll be back in just a moment.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen is the name written in blood. Ika!
If I could just call you on the phone. The code of the ghost at the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Artaud Jr.
Oh, they scream in this way.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl.
Noah. Ndaka. Yaya.
Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. then lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Egar's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Egar talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Egar.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes? Dad'll understand.
Ew.
One of those things. Just a minute, please. You know where Deep Canyon is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I've been there lots of times. Why?
Don't worry, Mr. Kruger. I'll take care of it. Yes. Thanks for calling. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're ready to go. I might need to take another bathroom break in a few minutes. I thought, okay, so I'm hoping Saturday, if you're watching this, fingers crossed. I don't know. I like to try and make plans. I don't know if they're ever going to come through or not. My plan is I'd really like to do a big Saturday afternoon show, and I'd like to keep doing a big afternoon show until Halloween. And I really want Friday night. I've actually already booked it off work because every Halloween I like to try and do a big live stream. Something always happens, something always comes up. But considering that's normally a night that I work, I shouldn't be bothered by anybody else. And I'm just going to tell people I'm working. But I've switched to shift out, so I can do a big Halloween live stream that night, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see if I can do something back here to decorate the place up. All my main Halloween decorations are in storage. I don't know if I'll be able to dig those out or not, but I'm hoping that I can pull some things together, and maybe I'll hit the thrift store, the Value Village. And yeah, that'd be kind of nice. I could do that, and maybe because they got really cheap Halloween stuffs there. They used to actually get new original Halloween stuff there. They used to really do the place up for Halloween. I don't think they do that anymore since the COVID days. But yeah, I think I'm going to try that. I've really got this idea for a Saturday afternoon show that I'd really like to keep working on, and I don't know. Only time will tell. Things hit the fan, and then things don't happen, and it seems to be this continuous cycle. I'm trying to do a video at least once or twice a week, do a pre-recorded video about something art-related, and I've got one coming that is on purchasing tablets and what I recommend, and my issue with certain brands XP-Pen that I don't recommend. And so yeah, so I don't know, should I keep going? Should I do another one? It's 2:30 in the morning, and I wonder if I'm going to just check something really quick, people, if you don't mind me. Let's see if Josh is on here. My friend Joshua Kimball, who is an illustrator, a book illustrator, and an author of I don't want to say comic books. They're a little more complicated. They're graphic novels. He is still live. He's very good with it.
I want to listen to it in full just to give you guys a taste.
There
of
he
what
is.
we made.
You can hear him.
And the last like 3 nights.
He's got Son and Kevin Cross in there chatting with him. That's all it's in.
There's a long period of time in my life where
He's I don't know. I'm gonna
I
do
let
this too much.
excuses stop me from making music, which is something
He is also a musician. And he's doing music tonight. Normally he works on his book, but tonight
one thing I loved.
he's doing that. So He always seems to end up doing lives right before I start doing one. I'll plan to do one, and then he pops on and does it. We have a lot of the same audience, the same people come in, and so I'll try to come in and say, "Hey, I'm live as well." And pull a few people over. I'm terrible. I usually don't. They end up staying with Josh anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So, anyways, I think we'll keep going. We'll try and do. I wanted to do Dino rather than instead of another one of the human characters. I thought I would do one of the dinosaurs, and of course, Dino being the most prominent one on the Flintstones. To stay with the Flintstones theme, we will do Dino because he was my favorite actually. I used to really like Dino when I was a kid. I would be excited when he'd come on. And just notice this here. Yes, if you haven't heard, Jane Goodall passed away today. Jan Arden spoke on her. That would be interesting. Jan Arden is a well-known Canadian singer and entertainer. I really like Jan Arden. Jane Goodall, if you're not familiar, if you don't know who Jane Goodall is, I don't know what planet you're on, but Jane Goodall she spent her entire life studying chimps and primates, learning about them, trying to communicate with them, and she sort of also helped bring some of that knowledge to the public and helped demystify them and really presented them in a light that we kind of hadn't seen before, in a way that we kind of, I wasn't going to say humanize them, but it made us sort of connect with them and made us understand them better, that they weren't these mysterious creatures that we thought they were. Now she brought this knowledge and understanding, and she always spoke out for their protection and stood up for them. She was a wonderful, intelligent woman, and she did so much work. She spent so much time and acquired so much information about them, and the knowledge she took. And I watched a little clip. I won't spend too much time on this. I'll say this really quick. I watched a little clip where she was talking about that what we do in her life in general, and what she did, what she wanted to be remembered for. And she would like to think that the information that she got could be passed on to generations ahead, right? So you're not just thinking in the present, what can I do for this now? What can I do for me now? But what can I do that can help contribute to humanity in such a way that it could continue generations on ahead? And that's why we kind of do what we do, is not for us, but sort of for the world as a whole. And if you can do that, some of us not in a place to do that, but I really admired her a lot. I thought she was just an incredible human being, and it's a huge loss. She was remind me a little bit of, if you're familiar with Diane Fossey. I read her book ages ago, which was made into a movie called Gorillas in the Mist, where Sigourney Weaver played Diane Fossey. But Diane Fossey was fought for the protection of gorillas, and again, like Jane Goodall, she sort of brought this knowledge to the public about and demystified them, and made people aware of what they are and what their plight was, and that these things were being hunted to extinction. And because of her, they were saved. Unfortunately, it cost her life. In Jane Goodall's case, though, she lived to 91. And she will be remembered, and her work will be remembered. And there's a few foundations, even in her name, that where her work will be carried on. I think that's something else. I think it's fantastic. What a life she led! What an incredible life! It's sad that she's gone, but she did live to 91. She worked right to the end. She was supposed to speak in California. She was going to be speaking, and sadly, that's where she passed. Okay, let's close this off. I don't want to close my streaming screen. Background blur, is that even? I hope that's on. No. I don't want. Should I do that? I don't think that does anything. Okay, sorry. Messing around with something. So as you can see on the screen, I'm going to open this up. We've got a couple of model sheets. This is an older one. As you can see by the design, this is one of the early ones because this is where they were called the Gladstones here. Before they were called the Flintstones. You can see it's been crossed out and called the Flintstones. So this was probably the designs for the pilot or coming up to the pilot. Dino's pretty much the same as what he is. I'm going to switch here to the head design. Maybe I should have got one that was a little more solid. This is really rough. We can go by this too. But here he is. On the spaced out eyes, he was always so like spazzing out. But I love the really simple head design. Look at this. He's got a head shaped like a big bean. Especially from here, like you can see, it's sort of this bean shape, but it sort of flattens out here at the front. Really fun, simplistic design. And it's kind of the same pretty much here. Yeah, that's fine. So I think we'll take. It's funny they got him on the same sheet as Betty, considering he was Fred's dog. But look, you can see the notes on here. I'm not even sure what this says. Fred, Barney, there's like something underneath in blue. Oh, look at this. Pebbles, Fred, Betty. Oh, the height differences, I think. And Barney. So he was a tall dog. That's the height differences. Interesting. Interesting. I like this standing pose here. I think I'm gonna cut this one out and I'm gonna use this. So let me select this. And do just like, it's kind of like cutting it out. I'm not gonna use a cut and paste though. I'll just use the copy. I'll get a little bit of that red in there, but that's all right. Maybe I'll try and erase that on the other page. So we'll copy this out, Command C, and let's go over to our illustration board. Command V. It's way up there. Up there. What's it doing way up there? All right. Let's go into our file, and we'll get transform. Whoops. Try it again. Transform, and we'll just go scale. We don't need to rotate. We don't need to scale and rotate. Don't need anything else. We'll just scale that. Comes with just about any program. And if I hold the shift down, if I don't hold the shift down, he changes shape. Command Z to go back. Hold the shift, and then we'll drag him out. There we go. He is going to be lightened. I don't know if I really need this. If I need to adjust. I was going to adjust the contrast to get rid of this yellowy stuff in there, but I don't really feel like taking a lot of time because if we... Yeah, it does. Can I do that a little bit? Let me just check. I don't remember where that is. Layer, new correction layer. It does brightness contrast. Oh, there, that's a little better. Just bumping up the contrast a bit. I don't want to do it too much or we're going to lose some of the details in the lines. I want to keep some of that. That's fine, I think. If I turn up the brightness. Oh, yeah. That's fine right there, I think. What do you think? Turn it back down, you get a little bit of the yellow in there, but that's okay because you can see this the fingers here starting to fade out a little bit. That's okay. And I can even take the eraser, just get rid of get rid of some of this. written right up against it, so we're not going to get rid of all of that, but that's okay. I think that's a line. That was a measurement line. Didn't want to get rid of the hair. Just find it a little bit distracting. But if I can get rid of that. Right. I should have got maybe a little bit more concrete model sheet. I could go look for another one. I don't feel like digging up another model sheet right now. We'll just go with this. I'm just trying to make a simple point with it. And that's the correction layer. That's fine. Interesting. And there he is. All right. So let's turn him down. Anyway, they're not too much. All right. That's super simple design. Something that was developed in Disney Studios and making a character interesting is how you'd have curves against straights. Instead of just something being two curved lines, to make it kind of visually more interesting, is you'd have something straight and then a curve against it. And you see that actually in the human body a lot. You can see how this could be an arm or a leg, right? Just by that shape, but by having one curve and one straight, creates a certain dynamics that makes it visually interesting to the eye. And it does things compositionally with the character. And you can see that going on here, right? This is almost your line of action. You've got this really, and you can see, look how hard this has been drawn. Like somebody's like really just gone over this really quick. And just a little bit of adjustment for the neck they made. You can see there's a little bit of shape. I can feel a little push there for the shoulder, but regardless, so this is pretty much just a straight line. And let me turn this to red. I want to do this as a breakdown here. So I'm going to switch this to a red pencil. And I can almost do it this way. If I use the shift key, it'll help make a straight line. If I make, because here in Clip Studio, if I put a dot, don't lift my pencil away from it. Make sure it's lifted off slightly, but enough that I'm not losing. See, if I lose that, it's still there. But if I make that dot, hold the shift, it'll make this line, and I can make a straight line anywhere I need to, just like that. So that's what I've done here. And this comes all the way down. And you have this bulge out here, but you can see they're really creating a sense of weight here because it's not just curved like that. He's got weight and it's pulling downwards. And so you can see the artist has really kind of bulged out the bottom and have it stretch up to the base of the neck, stretch all the way up, like that. And then it bulges out the bottom. And this line, look at this, starting right from the head, goes all the way around, because this is a circle up here. That'll be the head. That's kind of obvious. Then you have the neck. You have this nice S curve going on. Goes all the way down. We're going to draw through. We're going to go past the leg. We'll add the leg in a minute. Don't worry about the leg. This is coming all the way around and ends here. This is all one straight dynamic line. Really nice and simple. And this, we have this broken. It's interesting that to kind of add some dynamic sense to this curved straight, right? And to add some a bit of dynamics to it, instead of just making the tail like this, they've kind of had it gone up and broken at that point. Where this is just a simple curl, but this aggressive bend really adds a little more dynamics to that, which I find kind of really interesting. And that it kind of, it's quietly playing with your brain. You have no idea. We've been watching these as kids and we don't really think about it, but none of this is by accident. None of this in this design, all of this None of this is by accident. They knew what they were doing when they make this bend like this in the tail. This very aggressive bend. This is all on purpose. The artists know what they're doing. And I should almost leave that in here for now. So I'm drawing on a funny angle. So and this comes out. That's straight. And this comes out of it. It's really messy. But you can see what I'm trying to say here as opposed to this curve. Right there. So if I ever go back to this for notes, I know what I'm talking about. So, and his head is, so here's the head, nice simple ball. And there's the center line there where his eyes, big wide eyes, come off of it. And this comes off of here, comes off that center line. This weight at the bottom. It's curved at the top, but less of a curve, and it's coming around. So there's some three-dimensionality going on there. His lower jaw is tucked in. It simplifies a character. It makes them, I don't know how to say this nicely. It makes them a little more simple-minded. Right? Oh, that goes all the way around. His jaw attaches. Oh, all right. So this is like what I talked about earlier. I have a feeling the whole head would move in this case. It would probably move here and hit the nose. But this, because you have that line there, that separation line, this feels like if they wanted to, they could just animate this. But I think in his case, because the head tilts back as he does that. So there's a separation somewhere in here. Again. And the changes in the length of hairs. They're not 3 hairs all the exact same length. You'll see it's scruffy, but they get smaller. And they fan out. They spread out. The legs and arms here are really simple tubes. They're just wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. And I suppose I should leave that in. And what they've done here is they've cheated a bit. Because look how short this is. And there's like no hand, it's just claws. But this is a bit long. Because they've bent it. They've broken the laws, they've broken the rules a little bit. And just made a sharp bend, just like that, just like the tail. Right? And they've done that here. And here. And his feet, the bottom of these nails are flat. So you know he's flat on the floor. Like look, the bottom of this here and the bottom of those nails are a straight line. So there's no guessing that he's not flat on the ground. He's not floating in the air. And again, you're looking kind of down a little bit because notice the angle of the feet. So again, we're standing eye level with him and we're looking down at the feet because the feet are here. They're on an angle. It's not one directly behind the other. We're on a 3/4 view, right? But his other foot is not over here in line with this one. It's back here. So it's taking into account that you're standing eye level and looking down. So we're kind of looking at the top of his knee here a little bit, right? If I was to draw, if you were to draw a belt around his waist, right, we're going to outline him. it would circle like this. We're looking at the top of it, right? But that line, if we follow that line up closer and closer to his head, we draw a similar line around the neck, it would be much narrower, much, much narrower. By the time we get to the head, these eyes, there's barely any curve to it. As opposed to down here, if I was down here, we have a really wide curve, or really wide ellipse around that body. So again, that's the perspective of this character and where you're standing in relation to his eyesight. And again, these nails, this simple little drawing, just by making those nails flat, there is no guessing that he's on the floor, right? And he's kind of this direction, right? So the nails are, his body's pointing that way. And that's kind of it. I can add in, that's not the one I wanted, that's a close-up of the head. I could add in some spots, I suppose, but you know, I don't, spots are all in the back. I don't really need to do that, but you can kind of see this is one big shape here. And then the neck comes off that to another shape right up here. There's a nice S curve into that. And then you have the big face coming off of that in the eye line. That's basically it, right? So there you go. Flintstone, 65 years old. And all these little drawing tips still hold up. They all still hold some merit today, I think. Anyways, again, any questions, feel free to ask. Put in a comment. Tell me if you sat through to the end. Tell me if you got to see Dino getting finished. And because I could pencil him in, I could ink him. I don't think I'm going to. Maybe on another drawing, on another live, I'll do that. But for now, this is all I'm going to do because there's no one watching. I've had some people come in and out. If you did, thank you. Kind of nice to have gotten some involvement, but that's fine. Another night. I know I did leave it really late. It's like 3 a.m. and I'm still wide awake. I'm going to try and get some sleep. I don't think I will. I'm going to save this. Let's get rid of these. I don't need these. Do not save. I'll save these. I'll save them. And if you watch this video, let me know. I can always go back to them. We can do some inking. We can do some cleanup. We can do another character. If you'd like to see these that I just done here again, I can always bring them back up. But anyways, that's going to be it for tonight. I am off Thursday night. I might try and do another stream on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night. Technically tonight now, since it's 3 a.m. But I can try and do another stream, and then I work on Friday. But Saturday, I'm going to try and do a big show on Friday afternoon. Do lots of drawings. We'll do some caricatures. Do a breakdown of how I do caricatures, and let me see if I can close this off. Turn that off. But if you got this far, again, please leave a comment, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you got something out of that. So until next time, ladies and gents, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you back again very soon.